Hello, Podium Club. Phil McNichol here in snowy Cortina for the World Championships. Going to give you a little bit of an update. As you'll be able to see, perhaps, it is snowing yet again here in Cortina. It has been the story thus far. Lots of weather. Unfortunately, we had really sunny skies yesterday, but the television start time of 1 o'clock for the ladies Super G, the temperatures were getting a little funky and the humidity, and so a fog layer rolled in and postponed that event. And then this storm came in. So, but good news, temperatures are going to get cold. We need to navigate hopefully around some wind that's forecasted for tomorrow. And then we have cold, clear weather. So at like -16, maybe as cold as -20. It's been wet, heavy snow. It's been rain down low. 1 point rain all the way up to at least halfway up the downhill. So there is water content, so things should lock up pretty good. And right now the schedule is to go to both men and women's Super Gs tomorrow. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll drop into the downhill program with downhill training for both genders on Friday. And then Saturday, the women will go right to a race. They've been on this venue for many years in World Cup, so I guess that the jury felt that one training run was sufficient. The men will take another training run on Saturday, and they will race on Sunday. And I'll get into the rest of the program a little bit as we talk about athletes and what's happening. So tomorrow in Super G, Jack on the men's side, coming off of a sixth place finish in Kitzbühel and a top 20 result in Bormio, the last World Cup. He's skiing really well in Super G, so we're excited to see what he can do. And then Jeff Reed and Brody coming back from his surgery after his crash in Val d'Isere at the beginning of the season. He's actually really starting to come on pace. He was 20, just slightly off of top 20. He was 21st both in Kitzbühel and in Garmisch, which was extremely impressive. So he's coming into his own. He's definitely a racehorse, so we'll see. Jeff has been a little bit more consistent, if you can say that, in downhill, but he's skiing quite well and has the technical background in Super G. And Broderick, coming back from injury, he's really starting to show that he can get back up to pace. He made the as we switch over, same group going into the downhill on the men's side, and you've seen Jack in the points this year, Jeff in his first points ever. Brody is looking good, coming back from injury. We're excited to see what he can do, and Broderick, never count him out. I mean, he's taken a while to get back to speed after his 2-year hiatus from his injury. But his performance in Bormio didn't look great on paper per se, but it was a really tough race. If you noticed, very hard to get into the 30, and a young local Garmisch skier made a big move from the 50s into the points, and Broderick was the second largest bib movement. I went from in the 50s, deep in the 50s, to 32nd, just outside of the points. And it was not an easy race. So showing some really fabulous grit and tenacity. So, and this hill should play to our favor. I mean, it's tough and technical. So, and with these cold temperatures, we'll get some good surface. And quick point, I referenced Bormio a number of times or twice with Jack. I was actually talking about Garmisch, the last speed event. where Jack was top 20 in Super G, and then I did the same with Broderick in regards to his big bib move. That wasn't a Bormio, that was Garmisch. Mitch and Val are both racing the Super G tomorrow. Mitch is the one skier we're running in women's downhill, and Mitch has been top 10, she's been top 15, she's been top 20, and coming off of her Super G podium, I mean, she's really starting to believe in herself. We got real high hopes in both the Super G and the downhill. And Val is a dark horse. I mean, she was fourth here before her injury. She hasn't been racing Super G, but she's been training a lot, and she's been fast against some really good skiers. So if you're up on a hill training Super G like we were in San Pellegrino, not too far from here, with the Italians and the Austrians, she's right in the mix with the fastest times, and she is a skier that other coaches are looking at. So she is someone to keep your eye on. So anyhow, when we get through this Super G tomorrow, hopefully all goes well. Get into downhill, gets us through the weekend. Monday was a reserve day. Excuse me. Monday was a reserve day. Monday will be used for Alpine combined for both genders on that day. And Val and Mitch will stay on the board. They need to really lean into their Super G capabilities. Mitch, obviously, coming from a strong background, podium in her, way in her history in World Cup slalom. She has slalom skills, so if they can, if the program stays with Super G first and slalom following, plays in our favor. So hopefully we see that, and both of the ladies need to really lean into their Super G, but they're capable in slalom. I would say Mitch a bit more, but Val has been training quite a bit of slalom, and she has good athleticism and really good slalom skill. So anything's possible on that. On the guys' side, Jack Crawford, Jeff Reed, and Brody will be running the Alpine combined. So Jeff is a heck of a slalom skier and brings great speed. Capability in the Super G, so he'll be one to look at. And Trevor is a dark horse. I mean, he's got great slalom skill. He's been focused on GS, so you haven't seen him really do anything in World Cup slalom this year as we've moved him in to try to make a bigger move. We've added more Super G to his program. He was top 10 twice in Europa Cup with a really tough field, which is virtually a watered down World Cup. So that was super encouraging. He foreran the Kitzbühel Super G as well. So that'll be quite exciting to see what those guys can do there. Let's see. Pardon me. Brody got a little more work to do in that, but he's going to bring some really great speed in Super G, and he is also a good technical skier. So we have some promise to look in on that event. That pretty much wraps up the speed venues, and then Tuesday we move into this new inaugural parallel event, which is an individual parallel event, and right now we're still tossing around some of the folks that we're going to enter in that. We possibly will be using that somewhat to make some final decisions on our mixed parallel team event, which follows the next day on Wednesday. So Tuesday's the parallel, Wednesday's the mixed parallel team event. Currently, right now, we have in the hopper for the men, Jack, Trevor, Eric, Jeff, running parallel. We'll kind of shuffle that out for team event. Our early preliminary entry, we have Eric, Trevor, and Jeff. It's 2 per gender plus a reserve. So, we're looking at, possibly young Cassidy Gray, who came in and started her first World Cups this year and was top 15 in her second start, first run. So, and if it continues to get cold and icy, Tough, difficult is where that young lady shines. I mean, Crowns Kagora was as icy as I've ever seen it for the men in my career, and probably rougher, probably bumpier. So it was no short order in giant slalom, and Cassidy did quite well. Val did well there as well. Val, again, coming back from injury, has really shown some good performances in giant slalom this year, and she turns heads in the GS venue. She hasn't, popped up into the top five yet, but don't count her out in giant slalom. So we're still right now. Cassidy and Val are our World Cup scoring athletes going into the GS. Allie Nolmeyer is quite a good GS skier. She has started World Cup GS this year, so we're considering her for that as well. So we're still working through a few things on our tech starts, but that's our focus. And Eric and Trevor is our focus for giant slalom. But I do believe that technical strength in our downhill skiers is important. So we're bringing back more focus in that. So we are going to have Jack, Jeff, and Brody qualify for the last two spots through the qualifying event. So if you're not aware, at World Championships and Olympics, to control field size, they have a pre-qualifying event. And if you're not, deeply seated in World Cup startless points or world rank, and since these guys have been focusing on speed, they haven't, but they all have a good technical background, which we're trying to bring back into their strength bucket. So it'll be exciting to see those guys get an opportunity in giant slalom. And then we move on to slalom. Slalom, obviously, our women's team is quite strong, with Erin ranked in the top 15 in the world, and Laurence ranked top 10. Erin's had a top 5 finish, and Lowe's been just outside of that. I think her best finish was 6th and 8th. So really, they are poised to be podium contenders. So this is exciting. Allie Nolmeyer and Amelia Smart both have scored in World Cup slalom. They'll be racing that as well. And we're quite lean on men's slalom right now. So right now we're focused on Eric, who has been in the top 30 in World Cup slalom. He's rested and retrained. He was a little flat the last couple slaloms. It was a big technical run, middle of January. This crew's been in Europe for a long time, racing and training. So I think we've been able to recalibrate to peak with some energy and focus for this major event. So again, really exciting stuff. That takes us out to the conclusion with that men's slalom on Sunday, the 21st. So the women's slalom just before that on Saturday. Thursday and Friday is the GS. Women go first on Thursday. And then, like I said, parallel on Tuesday, team on Wednesday. And things should start to, like I said, settle in. We should start putting races in the books with good, cold, clear weather and get past this storm cycle. So that's about it. Again, I can't thank you all for your support and being super fans. We need it. We're working hard. We're trying to raise the bar and get on the podium and make you proud. So we'll get back to it, and stay tuned and enjoy watching the races. Take care.